Hi guys, it is Howitzer here, and boy am I excited to bring you this newest bit of information. In a recent interview with Ridley Scott, they were able to talk to him about the Alien Awakening movie, or the sequel to Alien Covenant. Now we all know that Ridley Scott, at least in his later years, has had many issues with holding plot and script points to himself. He released so much footage and plot points of Covenant that it even angered some fans. I will say though, this bit of information learned here from this interview is some of the best information I've heard from Ridley Scott in a while. For any of you that haven't seen Alien Covenant yet, there are spoilers ahead, so be warned. First off, I'm just really excited that we will be getting the next movie in the prequel series from Ridley Scott. After the poor box office showing of Alien Covenant in both the US and in China, many fans were worried that we may not even see the next Alien prequel. It appears that we don't have to worry about that as they are already writing the next movie. Many of us who did see Alien Covenant were pretty upset that the engineers did not play a big enough role in the movie. On top of this, the people that we did see down on the planet did not look like the engineers that we know of from Prometheus. Now, Ridley Scott himself has said that these people were in fact engineers and that this was their planet. I've even heard him mention in other interviews that this is in fact the engineer home planet. The engineers on the planet, if you want to call them that, to me, look like a species of humanoids that may have been created by the engineers, but that's a whole nother story. In many interviews with Ridley Scott, he has stated that Prometheus was somewhat a mistake. The studio received a lot of negative feedback on Prometheus, and I think that really made them take a look at how they were going to do Alien Covenant. It's pretty obvious to me that it affected the movie. Prometheus seemed to be more centered on the engineers with the aliens as a backstory, whereas Alien Covenant put the engineers in the back seat and tried to put the alien front and center. The crazy thing is, after hearing so much hate about the engineers from Prometheus, now they're hearing hate for not having the engineers prominently featured in Covenant. When I heard about this, I was thinking how the studio and Ridley Scott shouldn't pay attention to all the hate that Prometheus received. You always hear hate much louder than you hear praise, and I think Prometheus actually grew on some fans over time. That point is somewhat evident in the complaints with Covenant and its lack of engineers. Well, if you guys do like the engineers, then you are in for a treat with the sequel to Alien Covenant, which has been dubbed Alien Awakening. Ridley Scott has stated the engineers will return in Awakening. He stated that he thinks that the engineers are the gardeners of life and that they frequently return to the planet with their ships. If this is the case, it would explain why the people on that planet were cheering and out in force to greet the ship when David first arrived on the planet. Ridley even mentions that when the engineers return to this planet, that they will find that the planet has been decimated. We all saw the anger and fury in the engineer from Prometheus. I cannot wait to see how the engineers will react after what David has done to what could be their home planet. I would love to see the full fury of the engineers unleashed. Now, the interview was really short, but it ends with where we go next as the planet. Now, what I'm hoping for and what I'm leaning towards that planet being is LV-426. This makes sense to me because for the time being, it looks like Alien Awakening would be the last prequel before Alien, unless Ridley manages to squeeze in one more film. Because of this, the end of Alien Awakening should line up with Alien, showing us the space jockey dying on the craft as seen in Alien. Many fans are already guessing that the planet, Origai 6, really is LV-426, but to me it won't make a difference. As long as we get to see LV-426, I will be happy. I already know the engineers, or at least one of them, was trying to destroy the humans. But after they see what David has done to this planet, it should be an all-out war of engineers versus David and his evil lab full of alien nightmares. We all saw and remember this awesome Alien Covenant poster, but we were all let down after seeing Alien Covenant when we didn't see a fight between the engineers and the xenomorphs. It's possible then that this poster is just a prelude to the fight that we're going to see in Alien Awakening. Just imagine a battalion of armed engineers versus a hive of aliens. That sounds amazing to me. I'm also hoping that we will get to see other variations of the alien, like the neomorph that we saw in Alien Covenant. The neomorphs are just simply badass. I never thought I'd say that about a different type of alien. After all, the xenomorph is still one of the most well-known villains of all time in the science fiction movie universe. One last really important point from Ridley was that he said that there will be 3 or 4 different players coming in to investigate, and one of which will be the engineers arriving back to see what has happened to their planet. We can guess that the humans will be one of the other elements because you need the human element to make the movie. So what are the other elements? It's possible that Weyland-Yutani as a group is being looked at as an element separate from the humans, or at least a different group of humans, but I doubt that, as it seems in almost every movie the human element is somehow attached to Weyland-Yutani. So what would be the 3rd or possibly 4th group we're going to see? Is it possible that we're going to be seeing a group of aliens that are above the engineers? I know I would love to see this. I already have a video about a group of aliens that exist above the engineers that I like to call the Alphas. If you haven't seen that video yet, I'll have a link to it at the end of this video. So what do you guys hope to get out of Alien Awakening? Do you want a return of the engineers in full force? Would you love to see an all-out war between engineers and aliens? What happened to Walter on the planet in Covenant? And for that matter, what happened to the planet since everyone left? Will we finally see an alien versus neomorph fight? This was a fight that was supposed to be in Alien Covenant, but they had issues filming the scene, so it was deleted. Possibly, we'll see this fight or another alien type fight in Awakening. I'll have to admit, this all gets me so excited for the next movie. I was scared that Ridley was just going to abandon the engineers and we were simply going to have a movie where David sets things up for Alien, but this idea sounds so much better to me. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and as always, thanks for watching.